in like dead stop traffic for single lane construction for some reason. I'm not sure why. But just had a massive brake check. Like it just came to a complete stop. And this guy in front of me, I couldn't see anything around him because he just moved over from the right lane over in front of me. Had a huge brake check. But I've had a bad week. I'm going to try to summarize it without going into too much detail. And then I'm going to give a couple of suggestions at the end of the video on some things. So started out this week, Monday, Tuesday with the truck in the shop. Spent $2,100 on PMs and repairs. As soon as I got out on the road, I realized that the APU was not properly repaired and it has a fuel leak. So I need to. That's kind of critical. I need to get back into the shop to get that fixed. So I found a load to get me back home. It was a mediocre load, and I was a little ticked off that I wasn't going to be making much of any money um, out this week. And then right after I got that load, a unicorn load popped up. I said, "Take that crap off of me and give me the unicorn," and they did. So then I was in a better mood. Then I got to my delivery at Walmart, and I got there 3 hours early. I was going to take a nap. So when I got there, I did a walk around and noticed that my left steer was low on air. So I called out Love's Roadside, told them bring a tire out just in case we need to replace the tire. But I had them check for leaks first because, maybe I just hit a pothole and it just knocked some air out because it was low on air pressure, but it wasn't going flat. They couldn't find a leak. They were ready to send it, just air it up and tell me to go on my way. And I said, well, before we do that, why don't you air it up to the air pressure that I run at, 115 PSI. And God, I'm really, really irritated that this jackass got in front of me. 115 PSI. After this pickup truck, I'm going out and around this dumbass. I was trying to pass him when we came up to the single lane, and I slowed down to let him back over. Um, it, Once the aired it up to 115 PSI, I said, let it set for 5 or 10 minutes, check it, and see if it loses air pressure. It did lose air pressure. So we definitely had a leak. So he went and looked for the leak and finally found it. It was a cracked rim. He took the whole thing back to their shop, which was 12 miles away. Um, they switched onto a new rim at the shop, checked it for leaks, brought it back, put it on, charged me an hour and a half of labor at $110 an hour roughly. So it was $170 in labor. And then they charged me $340 for the rim, which was a bit of a markup. You can buy these rims all over the place for $240. So $340 is what they charged me for the rim. I asked him if they could do anything about that price, and he said no. He can't change prices on anything. I was like, all right, I guess I'll just have to eat it then. But there were some things he didn't charge me for. He didn't charge me mileage and some other stuff. So ended up not being too terrible. The total bill was $535. And it was a roadside. There was a Love's 12 miles away. I could have drove it over there and had it done. It probably would have cost me about the same price even at their shop. And I don't play with steers. If I've got a bad steer, I'm not moving the truck. So um, I didn't get to take a nap. I ended up dealing with that during that whole time. And after that, I went and got unloaded at Walmart, and then I was going to go and I'd ruined my 14 at that point. I couldn't finish driving to Muncie for my next load, so I needed to go ahead and take a 10. So I started trying to go to sleep and take my 10, and then I started getting messages and calls about the appointment on my unicorn load. They they didn't have the load properly scheduled when I picked it. So now they were telling me that the delivery appointment was changed to Wednesday, October 7th. So I was going to have to set for 5 days on a 900 something mile load. They said they would try to find a place for me to drop it. Chewy did not want me dropping it on their property and they didn't have enough room to have it set for like 5 days. So USA Truck wanted me to only take it halfway and let some other driver, get half the mileage out of it. And I said, no, I'm not giving up my damn unicorn load. So then they said, well, take it to the Waxahachie terminal then. It's only like 20 or 30 miles away from Chewy. So I was like, all right, well, what are you guys going to charge me to have some other driver deliver it on the 7th? And they couldn't find out. We went around and around, and the driver manager, Jeff, got frustrated and just basically told me he has no idea and he can't find out. He said that it's probably not going to be very much. I was like, well, I can't really make business decisions on that kind of information. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it at Waxahachie. If they screw me over and, take like $500, $1,000 to have somebody go deliver the load 20 miles, then I'll rant and rave and I'll get that rectified. But so then I eventually got some sleep and drove up. Once I finished my 10, I drove up to Muncie, Indiana, to where I'm picking up my next load. Camped out at the shipper overnight, and then 10:30 a.m. today, when my 10 was up, I went in there and checked in with them and told them I was early for a 3 p.m. appointment, and they said that that's fine. If we have the stuff, we'll go ahead and load you down. I was like, awesome. So they told me to bump a dock, and they had me loaded within about, only took about 15 minutes to load me. The total time from check-in until the time I left was like 30 or 40 minutes. And it was a really light load, only 11 pallets, 6,000 pounds. And now I'm on my way to Waxahachie. I have a fuel stop in Matthews, Missouri. My discounted price is about $1.85 a gallon, which is a pretty good price. And I'm not going to be able to make it much further than Matthews before I run out of fuel. I've got 200 miles till I get to my fuel stop, and I'm right on a quarter of a tank right now. So I should be able to make it quite easily, but I'm not going to be able to go much further than that. And $1.85 is decent. Why did this TNI get over in the left lane? I'm not seeing anybody in front of him over in the right. Oh, now he's moving over. Now he's moving over to the right. Like, what? Why did this guy switch lanes? This TNI guy is a jackass. He's 65 mile per hour, gang. And he passed me, like, I passed him probably 50 miles ago. And then he comes flying by me in the construction. Why is he moving over to the left lane again? I don't know why in the hell he keeps moving over like that. I have not seen. Right there's a sign that basically says the right lane's closed ahead. There it is. Right lane closed, 1 mile. So I guess there was a sign back there that said the right lane was closed, and I didn't notice it. I'm going to pace behind TNI so that jackasses don't try to pass on the right. But Yeah, I'm also planning on taking a shower there at I was gonna do a 210 or the 2.8 split, but they supposedly have the split disabled because whenever the new hours of service changes went into effect, they there was a lot of things that screwed up. They apparently didn't test all the new changes in the ELD. I'm moving way over to the right side of the lane so that the truck behind me can see the person in front of me and know that I'm slowing down because of the person in front of me. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna. All right, it looks like this is just bridge construction. We're getting out of it. We're gonna roll on. Take a shower there. Um, I am probably, I don't know. I'm gonna try to do a split, see if it'll do it. A 2.8 split. If not, then I'll just have to take a 10 or whatever. But I need to drive as much as possible. Date. Why the hell does this TNI keep getting over in the left-hand lane? I can't stand this TNI driver. Like I said, he I passed him like 50 miles ago, and then he's gone by me. And the reason he's in front of me right now is because he was going like 15, 20 miles an hour over the speed limit in construction. So he's governed at like 65, 67 or something like that, but he doesn't slow down for construction. And that's how he got so far in front of me. Because there's been a lot of construction. And Indiana has like 45-mile-per-hour speed limits in construction. I don't know why he's in the left lane. But it doesn't look like he kept getting in the left lane because he knew that construction was going up. He's getting in the left lane because his GPS is telling him that he needs to be in the left lane to go on 57 South. Well, it's both of these lanes go on 57 South. He's just out there jamming up the left lane. Now I'm stuck behind these two guys. 65 mile per hour, gang. I don't know which lane ends once we merge on. Looks like the left lane may end. We're merging on onto the left side. Yeah, this TNI driver here is a really aggressive driver that does not slow down for construction. I've seen him going over 20 miles an hour over the speed limit in construction. But two things that I want to talk about real quick before I end the video. One is the fuel cards and the discount cards and stuff like that. Um, Everett Madison with Trucking Inside. He's an owner operator, also like runs a small fleet. He owns his own little trucking company that he has other drivers that drive for him. I get a lot of good information from him. He's very knowledgeable in the industry. The fuel card that I use is because of his video. In his fuel card video, he also talked about a tire discount card. He recommended getting the Comdata MasterCard for tire discounts. He said that was the best tire discounts he'd found. And they also have a dispatch service for roadside, um, to get your, if you need a tire replaced on the side of the road like I did. Well, I'd been procrastinating on that. So while I was sitting there waiting on Love's to get there, I went ahead and put in an application for that card. Haven't heard back yet, but he recommends the MasterCard. The salesperson I talked with, I told him all I wanted was the national tire discount, and she said that to get that on the MasterCard would cost me $25 a month because this TNI jackass is over in the left lane again. What the hell is this guy's problem? He just keeps riding in the left lane. There's something wrong with him. Now he's moved back over. I don't know what his problem is. He's a real, like, jackass. He's an idiot. I don't like being anywhere near this, morons. I think what it is that his GPS is telling him he needs to make a left lane exit up here, but this middle lane goes both directions. He doesn't need to be in the far left lane for his exit. He's a special person. He's doing some 200 IQ stuff out there, I tell you what. I highly recommend that you watch Everett's Trucking Inside. Is his YouTube channel name. He's got a website. He's got Facebook. He does all kinds of social media stuff. But watch his fuel card video. That's one where he talks about the fuel card and a tire discount card and all kinds of stuff. And he shows the prices and everything. The tire discount card is up to 65% off. That is a massive tire discount. And then they have a dispatch service on top of that. That is incredible. Oh, right lane closed in 1 mile. I'm not going to pass these people on a right lane closed in 1 mile. And speed limit just dropped down to 55 for construction, so. Oh, and we have a super trooper right here. Stay over there in that right lane until you need to move over. I'm going to leave this space open for you guys. Why would you do that? He's going to try and pass FedEx. Oh, FedEx isn't even going this way. The right lane might be, yeah, the right lane closures on the other, going the other direction. We're not getting a right lane closure here, so move back over to the right. In work zone speed limit. Get back over to the right, you slow people. So check out his stuff. I procrastinated on getting the tire discount. Oh my God. I can't really talk while I'm this close to other vehicles. These jackasses. The 65-mile-per-hour gangs up here trying to pass each other. And you got four-wheelers weaving through vehicles. No, trans expert. I'm not going to slow down, slam on my brakes to let your dumb ass over. You can keep riding with your other trans expert buddy. I don't know how fast this guy's going to go. He's capable of going faster than I want to go because he sped up to like 74 miles an hour. I don't know what he's going to set his cruise at, though. All right, looks like he's going like a mile an hour slower than I want to go. He's got his cruise set right on 70, and I've got mine set at like 71. So we're going to go ahead and speed up past him, and he's going to come over to my damn lane because he's playing on his phone. But yeah, check out his videos for the fuel card and the tire discount. The other thing I want to talk about is retorque. Find out what a retorque is. I want to explain to you real quick what a retorque is. And it's unfortunate that there are so many people that don't know what a retorque is because it's dangerous to not know it. The mechanics that work on your truck should be explaining to you what a retorque is. But unfortunately, I've had a lot of tires worked on, and it's really hit or miss on whether or not a mechanic explains a retorque to you. So I'm going to explain it to you because I'm going to use Miguel as an example again. Miguel was my trainer with USA Truck. He's been driving 15 years. The only company he's ever worked for in trucking is USA Truck. Been driving with him for 15 years. He's been a trainer for 9 years. He's a million mile, almost a 2 million mile safe driver. So, I mean, I use Miguel as a bad example a lot because he did a lot of things wrong. But you know, he has a lot of experience. Now it's really hard to tell somebody that has like 15 years of experience, 2 million miles safe driving, that they're doing something wrong. They get really defensive and really offended for you to tell them that they're fucking up. But I'm not going to go through the list of everything that he did wrong. I'm just going to talk about the retorque. Miguel did not know what a retorque was when I was in training with him. And when I explained to him that we needed to stop and do a retorque because they replaced one of our tires, he called BS. And he told me that I didn't know what I was talking about and blah, blah, blah. And it just, we butted heads over a lot of stuff, mainly his ignorance of laws and, you know, stuff like that, you know, regulations and safety issues. We butted heads over a lot of stuff that he just didn't know anything about. So anyway, we were, you know, butting heads over that, and he finally relented. And he was just like, "Fine, just, you know, if you want to stop, if you want to do an extra stop at Love's, then you could have just said that. You don't have to make up this, you know, bullshit." Is basically the attitude I got from him. But you know, he threw out there, "You've been doing this for 15 years. He's never done a retorque. He's never had a problem. Blah blah blah." He doesn't know what a retorque is. So while we were getting, you know, checked out there, um, the Loves guy started talking about a retorque and started, you know, recommending. He asked us which direction we were going, so that he could recommend another Loves to stop and do a retorque at. And you know, we told him what route we were taking, and then it started up a conversation about retorque, and the head, you know, the service manager and the head mechanic, and like there was like three of them plus Miguel and I that were all sitting there, and they were chatting, and they were like, "Man, you know, it's really important you do a retorque," and explained all the retorque stuff, showed us a sheared off um, axle of somebody that didn't do a retorque. He said, "See what happens when you don't do it," and then, you know, that's usually what ended up happening every time Miguel and I butted heads was, you know, he got really defensive and confrontational. And then once he realized what I was saying was true, then he was like, "Man, I can't believe I've been doing this for this long and I never knew that." There's a whole bunch of stuff like that. So make sure you do your retorques. What the deal is with the retorque is whenever they loosen your lug nuts, there's spacing that happens between the rim and the axle or the hub. Basically what the rim sets up against on the axle, there can be space created between those. So you need to drive the vehicle approximately 50 miles, at least 50 miles, to let it settle in and seat properly against the axle or the hub that it's up against, the rim and the hub. You want it to seat properly. And when it gets seated in there and gets rid of any gaps that might exist, you know, a little speck of dust or, you know, a particle of dirt or something, um, when it settles in and seats, it can create a little gap um, between the rim and the lug nuts and cause the lug nuts to become loose. If the lug nuts are loose at all, they will vibrate a little bit. And the more they vibrate, the more loose they're going to become. So you want to drive it for about 50 miles to get it to seat properly, and then you want to pull in and have them retorque the lug nuts. So any of them that came loose, they can tighten them back up. And then you're good to go. If they come really loose, like they have to turn them 2 or 3 times to tighten them back up, then you should do another retorque. You should drive it another 50 miles and pull over and get them tightened. Now, the range of when you should stop, I've heard it from a couple of different mechanics. Basically, the 50 miles minimum is agreed upon by everybody. It takes 50 miles to really get all the stuff out from between the rim and the hub or the axle. Um, so drive it for a minimum of 50 miles, and then you want to stop somewhere before 100 or 150 miles. I've heard 50 to 100. I've also heard 50 to 150. You basically don't want to drive it so far that, like I said, if they're loose at all, it's going to vibrate and they're going to get looser and looser. And the more they vibrate, the faster they're going to loosen up. So if you drive it for too long without getting them retightened, then you risk the rim, the entire tire shearing off the axle and coming off. So most places, Love's, TA, Petro, they all require that you get a retorque for their work to be warranted. If you don't get a retorque and something happens, like your tire comes off while you're going down the road, then they're not liable. Or if there's damage to the tire, I think it like voids all warranty work that they did if you don't get a retorque. And they make you bring your bill, your receipt back into them whenever you get the retorque, and they'll sign off that a retorque was completed on it. So do your retorques. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out here that don't do retorques. And 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have any issues. But it's not worth the risk. So go and get your retorques done. Any tire, tractor, trailer, steer, drive, doesn't matter. You need a retorque. So don't just drop that trailer off onto somebody else without doing a retorque. If you're still within that 50 mile per, that 50 mile range on a trailer that you're doing a drop, then put some kind of note for the next driver that, you had the tire replaced and it needs a retorque done, and, leave the bill with them or make a copy of the bill for them or something so that they can get it signed off on and they can get a retorque done. If you're an owner operator like me, if I'm dropping the trailer, then I don't need to retain that bill, that receipt, because that's a USA Truck trailer. They paid to have that done. I can leave that receipt with the trailer for the next driver. So that's it. Fuel cards, tire discount cards. The fuel card that Everett recommended is absolutely amazing. It is my primary fuel card I use on everything. The tire discount card, I haven't used it yet. Can't speak on it. He showed the list of tire prices. And based on what Love's was quoting me on tires, it's massive discounts. Love's was quoting me $600 for their name brand tires, the Michelin's, the what other were they? I have Firestones on my truck. And they said that they don't carry Firestones at that shop. I don't know if that's Love's thing or if that was specifically at that shop, but I wanted to stick with the same brand, but they didn't have it. But it was like $550 to $600 for all their name brand tire. They did have some like Continentals and some other shit that was cheaper than that. I don't know how much cheaper because I told them that I'm not putting some off-brand shit on my truck. And but I got a discount with USA Truck. It was something like a 0.5% or a 1% discount or some shit. It was $25 on a $600 tire was the discount that I got for using USA Truck's account. That is absolutely pathetic. So it's like $575 is what they wanted to charge me for that steer tire. It was a Michelin. And if you go and look at what Everett posts on the prices he's getting on the discounts, it's like anywhere from $250 to $370 for good years. So that is a massive, that's like half price from what Love's was wanting to charge me. And that's just, you're saving $300 on a single tire. Just think about replacing all the tires on your truck. $300. That's a lot of money. That's worth the $5 a month, definitely. So I put in the app for it. I plan on getting it. I haven't used their roadside or any of their discounts or anything yet. So if I ever use it, I'll make a video on it. But go check all that out. Do your retorques, do your inspections. I know that we're only legally required to do a pre-trip and a post-trip, but man, anytime you have an opportunity, you're fueling or you're stopping to use the restroom or something, do a walk around and check tires and lights. If nothing else, just check tires and lights. That's all I do on my walk arounds is tires and lights. Because you can have a light go out or a tire mess up at any moment while you're driving down the road. And if you wait until the thing blows, then you're going to be stuck on a shoulder. But if you catch that tire low or an issue with the tire while you're at the rest area or you're at the truck stop fueling or something, then you can get that problem resolved before it becomes a major issue. If you catch it before it blows out, then you can get it taken care of before it becomes like a huge problem. Like if that steer would have blown out on me, then like it would have definitely damaged the rim. I would have had to replace the tire. It probably would have messed up my hood. It would have messed up my bumper. It would have messed up it might have pulled air lines. Like there's all kinds of stuff that it could have messed up. It would have probably cost me several $1,000s to get everything fixed if that steer would have blown out. So, do your walkarounds every opportunity that you get. Highly recommend it. And good luck to everybody. I hope that after this week, I can make it like at least a month without any maintenance or repair costs. That would be really nice to make it a month without any maintenance or repair costs. Oh my God. My checking accounts are getting low. Luckily, I had like $3,600 deposited into my business checking account today because it got really low, and my payment, my settlement today was $3,600. Next week is going to be roughly about the same. So that'll get me up a little bit, but I'm still I was basically break even on the business, but these last few repairs that I've gotten done have put me actually negative. I've actually been negative on the business. So hopefully I don't have any more major issues and we can just roll and be a truck driver for a while. I would love to just get out on the road and roll for a while without having to go to the house to deal with bullshit or put my truck in the shop. So we're going to cross our fingers and hope. But thanks for watching. Have a good one. Good luck. wish everybody the best, and I'll talk to you in another video when I get bored. Because when I get bored, I'll make another video.